Well, I think the first thing is if your objective is to expose the liberal bias of an outlet, here's how you don't do it. You don't go into their reporters and falsely claim you were impregnated by Roy Moore when you were 15, because they're going to ask you for details. And I think obviously this woman didn't have convincing details. They got very suspicious of her very quickly. And then they started taping her the other way. And then they were able to expose. They showed this woman walking into the headquarters of Project Veritas. It's a fiasco for Project Veritas. It's an embarrassment. And I think that there's something to be said, or we've enjoyed before, sting videos that people have made showing how the liberals really think. Obviously, the liberal networks have used sting videos. They used them in Food Lion, for example, ABC did. So the technique's been used. We've generally never liked those very much because you have to lie your way in. So when you lie your way in, it's a little harder to pose as the truth teller.
Yeah, and I've been an investigative reporter, so I understand that there's that fine line between going undercover and then kind of misleading. It's very fine. And just kind of going to Veritas's defense, I just want to read something that the Washington Post actually say that he said. He said, yes, we use disguise, we go undercover, but sometimes it's the only way to ferret out what people really believe when nobody's looking. Is that the only way?
No, and I think, look, the Washington Post did demonstrate its bias in here in that they decided to try to expose Roy Moore at a time after the primary was over. I think the question is why so late? I think the timing of that investigation, it's not so much that the investigation itself didn't have accurate detail in it, but the timing of it was extremely suspicious. And then they'll try to tell you, oh, we've only been doing this for a month or something. This is the same newspaper that fought each other like cats and dogs to delay the Paula Jones story when it was already on the record. So there's a lot of politics going on inside the Washington Post. You just don't need a hidden camera to expose it.
But let me ask you this, and again, I'm just pointing out the different arguments of this story. So the Washington Post is somewhat saying that this gives its outlet credibility, if you will, by saying that they were able to sort of properly vet its source, and that it also may give more credibility to some of the allegations against Roy Moore. Your take on that?
I think that, what they recorded there, where they showed their reporter demanding detail, is one of those things that the liberal media will all say, look at how careful we are. We don't just run these stories without vetting our sources. But I think, again, obviously what they were trying to do here to Roy Moore was kind of what they tried to do to Donald Trump in 2016. They're not really satisfied with trying to tell a story. What they're really trying to do is try to get that candidate to drop out. And that's where, they say, oh, we're just news outlets. We're just investigating the news. No, you're a bunch of bullies who want to just knock people out of races so people can't vote for them.
Newsmax TV. Watch us on Dish, DirecTV, AT&T Uverse, Verizon Fios, or download our free app. Don't have Newsmax TV? Call your local cable provider and request Newsmax today.